Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis, and in this video we are going to talk about the last mortgage payment of 2025, of this year. The last mortgage payment of this year. Not the last mortgage payment ever. Wouldn't that have been a miracle? Whoop! So y'all, let's talk about it. A lot of you know I've been on a journey, and I remain on a journey to pay this house off sooner rather than later. Now, when I was gainfully employed, when I knew I would be gainfully employed for who knows how long, forever, I had the biggest goal that I was going to actually pay off the house by this month. Then I was laid off. Not once, but twice. 3 times in total, but 1 time didn't count because I already had the next job lined up, which in turn was my first layoff and then my second layoff. So that changed things. It made me more conservative. It was like, you know what? We're going to slow our roll. And instead of paying off the house this December for Christmas for myself, I'm going to keep that money in savings because I don't know what the future holds. And I may have to eat off that money, literally live off of that money. So I said that was no longer the goal, right? And then after I lost the second job, like the second layoff, this recent layoff, when I knew it was coming up, it no longer became the goal to actually send super large amounts of money to the mortgage. Because before that, while I wasn't going to pay the house off in December, I still was like paying an extra $2,000 to $5,000 extra a month toward the mortgage, right? Now that we've been laid off for the second time, now I'm back to just in a little something to the mortgage, a little something to make sure that the universe knows our intentions to pay this house off sooner than later. Also, I moved it to, rather than putting the physical money on the house, I put the physical money in my high yield savings account. Because if things pick back up, either I get another job again or just other streams of income flow in, I can always in the future use that money to pay off the house. But currently, when everything is so uncertain, it just wasn't a priority to actually physically put that money on the home, okay? So in this video, we're going to talk about my December mortgage payment, and we are going to talk about where we stand now, my ideas, and all of that fun stuff. So let's get started. In the month of December, I made my regular mortgage payment of $1,535.91. Of that, $1,383.47 went to the principal of the home, and $152.44 went to interest. I then made a principal only payment of $66.53. So one of the games that I play with this principal only payment is I add enough so that it's a nice even number and then in zeros, right? So that is why we get the change that we get, the 53 cents. And then, you know, to just bring it to a nice round number. So that's the game that I'm playing, okay? That's my only goal, that the number looks cute when I'm done. And one of the things that I also take note of is the interest, right? Because again, our goal is if we got to make a payment, we want to be able to send as little to interest as possible. So when I compare last month's payment to this month's payment, I love seeing that we have a decrease of $3.19 from interest, right? Last month in November, we paid $155.63 to interest. And this month to December, that was down by $3 and some change to $152.44 in interest. And being that this is the last payment of this year, I see that overall for the whole year, I paid a total of $2,175.52 to interest. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Last year, let's take a look at what I paid in interest last year total. Last year, I paid a total of $3,265.53. in interest. So this year I paid $1,090 less than I had paid in the year before. I love that because that money is money that I get to keep. More importantly, money that I can put back onto the house, further decreasing what I'm paying in interest on this home, okay? And so I want to take a look at the overall breakdown of what I paid on this home for the whole year. So we know that I paid $2,175.52 in interest, but year to date on the home, on the principal of the home, I bought it down by $50,900. This is a total of $53,075.52 that I invested on this home this past year. Next up, I want to take a look at the amortization chart. Amortization chart. I be wanting to say amortization, right? So let's take a look at the chart and see what we can gather from it. Now, one of the things I do like seeing, and that gives me comfort, is if I don't add another dime, another extra dime to the house, right? Where I stand now is that the house will be paid off by July of 2030 if I don't add another dime. So that is super comforting, especially knowing that my income is taking a drastic hit. We're talking about, I'm losing about what? Let's just give it, say $10,000. I'm losing a good $10,000 a month in income, and I'm including benefits in that number, right? But that gives me comfort to know that just paying my regular mortgage, it will be paid off by 2030. That is 4 years. 4 years. 4 years, I believe. Yeah, almost like 4 years from now, right? The house will be done regardless. And this is just from all of the work that I did do when I was gainfully employed. And I say that to say, if you have a job, if you're gainfully employed, think about sending something extra to the future you now. Because I did what I did when I had a job, the future me gets to have this house paid off in 4 years. Just by paying my regular $1,535 mortgage payment a month, okay? I can handle that. This will make it so that I would pay the house off 13 years and 1 month earlier than the projected payoff date, because the projected payoff date is August of 2043. Not projected payoff date. The original payoff date was August of 2043. Okay? We get to be done with this by July of 2030. Love that for us. So, if I continue on the conservative path that I'm currently on, and just adding a little something extra to the mortgage, and so let's say $50 extra a month, right? Conservative number, $50. That's something that I feel like I can handle even without having traditional employment and taking a drastic hit in my monthly income. $50 a month. This is how that will look. Plugging that into this chart, it will show that I will pay the house off 2 months earlier than expected. So now it will move my payment date to May versus July, my payoff date, and it will save me $140 in interest. Now, while that doesn't sound like much, when May of 2030 gets here, I know I will appreciate having 2 months less that I would have to pay $1,536, right? When May gets here. It's like I'd rather be like, oh, you know what, May, I'm done, versus having to wait till July to be done. Also, when we look at these numbers and we pull up the payoff chart, because your amortization, that word that I really can't say, amortization, it bugs me that I can't say that word. But It will show you your payment plan month to month to month. It will show you when you make your payment, how much is going to interest, how much is going to the principal, so on and so forth. So when we look at May of 2030, this also shows that my last and final payment will be $100 less than it typically is. So not only do I get to be done with this house 2 months earlier, I also get to have almost like $100 discount on top of that. I'll take that. I will take that, okay? Now, can I come up with another $20? Can I come up with another $20 a month? Who can give me $20 in my life? So an extra $20, so that means instead of saying $50 a month, what happens if I send $70 extra a month? How will that look? Let's take a look. So it still has me paying the house off in May of 2030, right? But I will save $193.96 in interest. So let's go to the bottom and let's take a look at how does that look for my final payment. So before, my final payment in May was like $1,495, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, $1,485 was going to be my final payment. Now, my final payment is going to be $392. I'll take that. $392 versus almost $1,500. Okay? Just by making an additional $20 more to that payment. Can I get $10 more? Can I get $10 more and make that like a nice $80 a month? And I'm saying this to say that to be on a mortgage payoff journey, it doesn't have to look like having extra thousands and thousands or even hundreds to add extra to the mortgage. Every little bit counts. So if I can come up with $80 extra to throw on my mortgage every month, this is how that looks. It knocks out May altogether. So I get to have this house paid off in April of 2030. So I knocked off a whole full month. And I saved $220.35 in interest, because again, the name of the game is why give away free money. Anytime we're paying interest on anything, that's just money that we're giving away, okay? And that final payment is going to be $1,462. So again, I get that $100 discount. Sitting here in today's date of 2025, December 2025, it doesn't seem like much. It's like, it's only a month, it's only 2 months, it's only 3 months earlier, right? But when that day gets here, 2030, you are going to be so happy that it's going to feel like you have free money. It's going to feel like, you know what, next month I don't have a mortgage party over here, or I can do this, or I can do that. It's just going to feel so good, right? So we just always keep that in mind and never look at it like, but it's only freedom. Your future freedom, that is. Okay, so I'm so happy with that, and I'm so happy that I looked at these numbers, because I was like, wow, I'm not sending the extra 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 that I've grown accustomed to. Is what I'm doing even helping, even moving the needle? It is. It is. So I am closing out this year of 2025 owing on this good home $79,850. $79,850. And just for grins, giggles and grins, let's take a look at what Zillow says the house is worth today. Now that we don't do our net worth anymore, let's take a look at that. Hold on. Okay. So according to Zillow.com, this home is currently worth $985,700. So not bad. $985 and $700. And the fact that I owe less than $80,000 on this home. So there you have it. There you have it. Because it goes from that to 1.03 million. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys continue doing what you're doing and then some. So that's where we're at right now for our final payment. on our mortgage of 2025. So looking forward to 2026 and seeing where we get on this journey. Okay? Thank you all so much for being here. Until the next time, don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment below and subscribe, where we will have more money talks like this. All right? So until the next time, y'all. Peace.